And hello, visuals, and welcome back to the Visual Guyz podcast. And it's time we'll do the finale of Moon Knight, Chris. Seeing as it's fresh in your head, I'm assuming you watched it last night. It's done and dusted. It's episode 6 over and done with. There is cliffhangers. There is somewhat cliffhangers. We're like, oh, what's gonna happen next? But as far as because we need to know where this carries on with.
Well, that's it. There's not going to be a season 2.
Well, that's what I was about to say. There's stuff to carry on with, but as far as we're aware, they're not working.
And now we've got our first Egyptian superhero.
The good news is that they haven't said there's not a season 2. They just said they're not working on it yet. So you'd imagine, and I didn't realise how. I thought, you little fucking weird dog. I didn't realise how. Because I knew Moon Knight would be liked, but I didn't realise how liked it was. It's all over the fucking the socials and that. People are loving it. It's when it gets memed and stuff with certain shit. You know it's decent. Everyone's praising Oscar Isaac and that. So I can only imagine there will be a season 2. So
I'm more interested in seeing this new character.
Well, that's what I mean. That's what it'll be. Because the deal's been struck, not with Mark or Stephen, with somebody else. But we'll get to that somebody else. Well, there's somebody else we've been knowing that's there the whole time. But we'll talk about the episode itself and what we think the future may or may not be. But we'll get Chris's thoughts and opinions first. Since it's fresh in your head and you can talk about it. It's the last stuff, Chris. What did you think of not only this, the whole series?
It was another episode I didn't mind. I wouldn't say it's probably my best one. But
your best episode?
I wouldn't say it was. I'd say the best episode for me was obviously when we arrived in Cairo and he starts playing with the stars and all that stuff. I think that was the best episode for me. That was mint. But again, like I said, this wasn't bad. I enjoyed it to a certain point. But yeah, it's just one of the things. I wasn't overly excited about it.
One of the things. Yeah. Well, you've not been excited about the whole season in general, anyway. So
no.
You couldn't really be too disappointed.
But like I said, I maintained it. I persevered and watched it, and overall, it wasn't bad.
So as Chris is overrated, it wasn't bad. So I'm assuming it sits lower down for you in your MCU shows.
What I've seen, what MCU have done recently, yeah. Well, I can't really say how low down, but it's.
Well, there's only been. I think most of them you've thoroughly enjoyed.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine you prefer this more than like the Falcon Winter Soldier and WandaVision and Loki and Hawkeye. Oh, that's it. So it is lowest down. Yeah. And obviously Miss Marvel on the way next. So obviously, at least you didn't hate it. You didn't think it was awful. What do you think is next then? What do you think is gonna? Because the fan demand's there.
Well, exactly. I don't really know because, like, the last, it was 2 weeks ago, we announced that, Kevin Feige announced that season 2 of Hawkeye and Moon Knight wasn't happening. So I don't know where they're going to bring it in.
Well, see, the thing is, they didn't say it wasn't happening, the shit's not happening yet.
So it's kind of a conundrum one.
It must just be a case of they want to see how they tie the rest of it in with the rest of it, because of where them two respective shows are. Like, this has no real impact into where the main films and that are.
Yeah.
Neither does Hawkeye. Technically, neither does Falcon and Winter Soldier. So they must just be seeing where their films lay off. Because I was still expecting them to meet up with because obviously the cutscene didn't show with a Blade or with a Black Knight or with where all Five Knights come in and shit. Or maybe that's where we see him next.
Well, there's nothing I've seen on the cards for him to stand out in.
No.
So I don't know. Unless he make his appearance in Blade or something, I don't know.
Well, like I said, he's more on the supernatural side, isn't he? So you could easily chuck him in somewhere on the lines there. I think personally, because of fandom, man, there will be a series 2. Maybe just not for a while. I think, like I said, because people are loving Oscar Isaac more than anything. So I think Kevin Feige will do what he can to keep hold of him, seeing as at the minute he's a hot commodity. Yeah, I expect just season 2 somewhere along the lines down the road. Because there's plenty more to go off. Because now we have an issue because Mark and Stephen think they're back on with their normal lives. Where basically Mark is going to be doing what Stephen was doing at the start of the show, blacking out, going, "What the fuck's going on?" But realizing it's the third identity, which we'll get to in a sec. So there is somewhere to go here.
There is still more things to go. Like I say, I'll probably still watch it.
Yeah, but unless they wrap that story up in somebody else's film or somebody else's show, they could easily chuck him in as a second, like they did with like Mando inside of Boba Fett.
Yeah,
where his shit they could easily chuck that in.
They could
somewhere along the lines. I've put it on one notes. There's not Jags and Jags and notes, so you're alright, Chris.
Jags and Jags.
There's not Jags and Jags and Jags. You've already touched upon it, Chris, but we saw Layla become the Scarlet Scarab.
We did.
It's been referenced quite a few times. She gets given little nicknames. Even Conchu calls her like Little Bug. Her dad used to call her his little Scarab. We saw the bandage. So it was coming, but she was kind of cool. She was an avatar, and then they were like, "Oh, I've got a cool suit," and then the wing. It reminded me of just not as gold with Wonder Woman 84's outfit.
I was thinking of more of the lines like Nighthawk or something.
Yeah, not wrong. You're not wrong. But it was it was nice seeing her. It's another character, and again, if they want to go forward another show, it's or whatever they want to do, it's another character they can bring into the fold.
Yes.
We see the break in when we're in the asylum. We see the illusion break with Harrow. Do you know where he's playing the Doctor character, and he's walking with blood footprints. So we know back from episode 1, he put glass in his feet, so you know that's where this breaking the mold of the weird asylum in the head carry on shenanigans. We find out that latest gators isn't actually. It's not actually Stephen's catchphrase. He says it, but it was Mark that invented it because it was what he would say before he switched into Stephen to get away from the abuse and shit. So we know why he says latest gators, which has become quite a big thing at the minute. Because everybody's already said it in Britain. You always say, "See you later, gator," or "Welcome now." And I found out, I actually googled why we say that age ago. It's from a song from the 50s. Because I did why do we always say that? "See you later, alligator," "Wild crocodile," and the song is "See you later, alligator," something like that. It's fucking, yeah. I wanted to know, but I mixed it up at work, but I won't say it here. We see, because the fish in Stephen's flat have been fairly, well, when we were there, fairly prominent. And we see the fish now is a cohesive duo instead of one being missing and one. So it's just showing more the balance between Mark and Stephen has come forth. Did you see the QR code this week, Chris?
No. Well,
the QR code I did not spot either, so I still don't know where it is. But I can tell you what the QR code leads to, and it's Midnight that have led to this because I have this upstairs. Moon Knight Annual 1. And do you know what happens in Moon Knight Annual 1?
Blood and guts.
Yeah, a lot of fighting. But do you know who he's fighting, Chris?
Deadpool.
Kang the Conqueror. So it's quite cool because we know that Kang's on the way. We know that thingy.
Yeah.
And this just basically said, because everything's been parallel with certain, like we've had comic book issues where it's Arthur's debut and all that kind of shit. And this one, it leads to a fight with Kang the Conqueror. And we know that we're going to next see him definitely in Quantumania.
Yes.
Next, my next note is just Jake Lockley. It's officially, we knew he was there.
We knew he was coming.
There's been a lot of different.
Need to get more in depth on Jake.
Yes, it's quite cool because in the show he's actually a cab driver. It's not in the show. In the comics, he's a cab driver and he'll do his cab rounds, and that's when he'll do his vigilante because he'll just patrol in the cab, and then they'll see a crime.
So was he an assassin or was he just a mass murderer?
He was just a sort of like not like a hard man on the streets that was willing to do good.
Yeah.
Like he was just like a hard, lonely sort of dude that he was willing to beat people's skulls into a pulp, and he's willing to just kill people if it's for the greater good. He's not asked.
Fair enough.
And they show you his traditional flat cap and whatnot. Usually, sometimes sporting a cigarette or a cigar, but I don't think we saw that in this.
It looks like he must have some money then.
Well, it's weird because this limo As far as I'm aware, we have seen him drive. Well, not seen him drive a limo, but there has been a white limo, the exact one from this in the comics that says on the front the same license plate, the SPKTR.
What does that mean?
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it means. It does. It just to me it looks like Spectre straight away. Obviously, when you think of it, but summarised. But it's just from the comic book. It's never actually meant anything. I don't know if it was just his license plate or what, but they just copied it straight up. And it's quite cool because Khonshu, when he's in that limo, he is supporting that white, not tuxedo, suit, dinner suit, whatever the fuck they're called.
Yeah.
So that's pretty dope. And yeah, that's pretty much all my fucking notes. Done and dusted. So Jake Lockley's here, and like I said, we know that he's been there or thereabouts. You got symbolism, you got different black cats. See, I absolutely adored this episode. I love the fact that we have Moon Knight and Arthur doing this, and the Scarab doing this fucking epic battle. In the background, you got these giant fucking gods in the back, and it just looked
crocodile on him.
Fuck yeah, and Khonshu, the fucking. It just looked absolutely outstanding. And watching Moon Knight doing one of these mad little combos, dodging it, it just looked fucking epic as shit. That's what I was waiting for. Because we had this big old drought of no Moon Knight, and when we got him, like watching him run up the side of the pyramid and just be, it was fucking for me anyway, obviously you think different. I was like, fucking God, son, this is what I've been waiting for. And the way that he flies through and he's got his little, I'm like, he's here. It was so fucking brilliant watching Khonshu, and the way Khonshu, seeing how manipulative and dodgy he is behind the scenes, and seeing him coming and being like, well, okay, our deal's true, I haven't got to deal with you, really, we've got one behind your back with Jake Lockley, and you're like, oh my God, this is fucking mint. And then watching Moon Knight thinking, shit, I'm not going to win this fight, to blacking out, to absolutely destroying everybody, and you don't see it because he had it's just so good. So for me, it was the best episode. Moon Knight is one of my favourite series. It was fucking outstanding. I enjoyed every little fucking bit of it. And like I said, I can't get out the back. That fight in the back, they're there, these big fucking deity gods. It's everything I love, because I love mythology, but especially about gods, and to see them come up again. Oh, it was so much fucking fun.
It was a good episode. But like I think, was it episode 3? With the stars and shit.
Yeah, visual, and as well, I absolutely adored the. Was it the same episode? No, it was the one after, wasn't it? When we get into the tomb and it's very Indiana Jonesy and whatnot. I love that, but because this is the most Moon Knight action we've got in one big solid take, I just fucking love that. I love the costume. I love him. I love the character. I love fucking when Mark's in control. I love when it's Mr. Knight and we see his little combos of Steven doing shit. It's like, alright, you take over. And it's the way that it just flips between the two. I love it, Chris.
He loves it.
I fucking love it. It was that's my standout moment now. It's just the shot of the pyramid on the side of it just charging up. And you're like,
it is a unique shot, like, because I've seen what other film has done that? There's a couple of
Transformers have fought the pyramid.
Possibly.
But that was instead of a nice
slow mo.
Yeah, instead of a nice like it's fine. Transformers like it's fucking smashing up. His bricks going at you and more transformery like. It was, but yeah. So I have absolutely thoroughly enjoyed this and. Whatever we get him in next, whether it be somebody else's show, a film, whatever they do, I cannot fucking wait. I'm so glad that Moon Knight's here. Can't wait to, because it's going to happen, of course it is, because we did it in Endgame till another 10 years' time, and we get this big old lineup of all these mental-ass characters. There's your Moon Knight, and there's your Blade, and there's your newly formed Ant-Man, potentially Jane Foster's 4, and whoever else they want in this big old lineup against whoever. It's going to be fucking awesome. But yeah, so it gets a 10 out of 10 for me. Amazing. Go check it out, visuals, the whole season. It's bless you. These seasons wrap up far too quick, but the good thing is, I know you're not a big Star Wars guy, but that trailer we got for Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yes.
Oh my, to see the Inquisitors, and then at the very end we see what looks like Kenobi face to face with Vader again. And then we know it's Hayden Christian. I'm like, oh my fucking God, I cannot wait. I went to go pre-order his SFX lightsaber. It's 300 quid, so Jesus fucking Christ, I'm gonna have 300 quid ready when that's out. I can't wait for Obi-Wan Kenobi, and then we're on to Miss Marvel. So I know Obi-Wan's got nothing to do with the MCU, but in terms of Disney shows, it's just fucking nailing it.
They seem to be rolling them out pretty good at the minute, aren't they?
And they just fall nicely because I think the most you get is a couple of weeks break.
Yeah.
So what's this, 3 weeks break now? Or 2 weeks? One of the two.
Is it 23rd?
Something like that. But Obi-Wan Kenobi's coming out with 2, isn't he? Back-to-back episodes.
What's the 25th? It's coming out on the 5th.
It's coming out. It was originally Wednesday, but they've moved it to Friday, haven't they?
27th.
Yeah. There's 2 or 3.
What's the thing today?
Are we on 7th?
7th. Yeah, so just over 3 weeks.
Yeah, 3 weeks wait.
Oh, just under 3 weeks.
So I cannot wait for that. And I cannot wait for Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel. When you get to the MCU, it's nice because we get this complete new.
You have a break from blood and guts.
Yeah, we've had this weird. Exactly what you're about to say. This weird Egyptian wacky adventure to a somewhat coming of age story. Somebody first finding their powers and whatnot, and then we'll go back to weird. Whatever Loki shenanigans, then we'll go back to the bow and arrow, then we'll go back to.
It's not just the same repetitive thing.
It's a nice way because obviously you're lucky with Marvel characters and shit because each one brings their own sort of story. Because Hawkeye naturally follows with a more cops and robbery car chase story. Then you come up with Loki, that comes with a natural supernaturally story. And it's fucking awesome. But yeah, I cannot wait for Obi-Wan. I am so excited. I don't think it's gonna be as good as Mandalorian, but Obi-Wan is my favourite Star Wars character of all time, alongside now Mando. So we'll wait and see.
Shall see.
There's going to be a lot more lightsaber crack. And that's one of the reasons why I do like Star Wars. But visuals, go check out Moon Knight. The whole series gets a solid 10 out of 10 for me. This movie gets a fucking 10 out of 10 beautiful. Chris, final word.
Well.
Alright, dog.
Alright,
dog.
The episode, I'm going to give it a 7.
The episode gets a 7.
And the whole series, I'm going to give it an 8. Because it had its ups and downs, and yeah, it wasn't bad. It wasn't good, but it wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. It was meh.
Yeah, there was some bits I did enjoy, so it is high up there.
I think it's safe to say you're not bothered when Moon Knight comes back in.
No, but I reckon that since obviously I forgot about Khan, it wouldn't surprise me if we get a snippet of Moon Knight and Khan next.
Yeah, potentially, maybe.
Obviously, we won't see him in Ant-Man because that's too soon.
Surely you're going to get a little bit goosebumpy when a supernatural team of Avengers lines up somewhere. So you're Blade, Black Knight, Moon Knight, and you're like, we're getting a bit spooky now, aren't we? That's going to be a fucking hair on the back of your neck moment.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And like I said, I can't wait. If it does ever happen, like I told you ages ago, that if at one point he's fighting alongside the Winter Soldier and Captain America, he's like, Moon Knight, then he transforms like, hello mate, and they're like, what the hell's just happened there? And he's like, oh, I'm Stephen, oh, I'll fight now. Or, you know, I could just see the dialogue already. Obviously they'll write it a lot better than that. Or if they ever see him alongside Deadpool will be like, this is great. He just keeps transforming to different. He's like, this is fucking mental. I can see that working out so well. But there we go, visuals. Go check out Moon Knight. I'm gonna fucking attack that dog. Visuals, see you in the cinema. Keep on keeping on.
And as always, love you, bye.